United States and around the world. I'm Fareed Zakaria. This has been an extraordinary few days in Iran since the elections, which a record 80% of voters turned out to cast their ballots. The Iranian government has announced that President Ahmadinejad has been re-elected with 62.6% of the vote. The challenger, Mir Hossein Mousavi, got 33.7%. The two other candidates got less than 1% each. My own sense is that the vote appears to have been rigged. Mousavi had been drawing huge crowds, generating enormous enthusiasm, and getting bolder and bolder in his criticism of the president, all of which suggested that he saw himself as having strong momentum going for him, as did many, many observers. Now, over the past decade, whenever there have been large voter turnouts, it has always helped the reformers. But this time, despite a large turnout, according to the poll results, Mousavi lost, and he lost in his own hometown and surrounding region. It seems incredible. Mousavi has declared that based on his campaign's reports, he had in fact won. He promised to contest and defy the results. The other two contenders also implied the election was fraudulent. So we're getting an amazing picture into an Iranian regime that is divided. For Mousavi to be so bold as to openly challenge the results, for the other contenders who are much less powerful political figures to feel free to do this, all suggests that there are significant differences among the power elite in Tehran. Clearly worried about all this, the supreme leader, Khamenei, has tried to close ranks around the regime by affirming the results. But remember, Khamenei and the rest of the clerical elite are not that thrilled with Ahmadinejad. He was not their candidate in the 2005 election. He has no connections with the ruling clerics, either by family or religious training. He's not a cleric himself. He was a populist mayor of Tehran who accused the ruling elite of corruption and incompetence. He was strikingly frank during this campaign in making those attacks and making them personally against members of the elite who still hold important government positions. So what does all this mean for the rest of the world? Well, clearly there is no seismic shift in Iran, no new reformer or moderate to negotiate with. But even if all the protest dies down and Ahmadinejad consolidates power, as is likely, his control over all elements of the government remains questionable. His opponents, who are still in high positions throughout the government, will be emboldened. Mousavi and his allies criticized Ahmadinejad for his anti-Western rhetoric, for his confrontational tone, for his denial of the Holocaust, for his treatment of women, for his use of the morality police. Now, it is very rare to hear this kind of criticism against the Iranian regime's practices, all of which means Ahmadinejad and his hardline friends might find it difficult to continue with their highly belligerent behavior, both on domestic issues and international ones, the nuclear issue, support for terrorism. I wouldn't exaggerate what's happening here. This is not good news. Ahmadinejad won, but it certainly suggests that we are not up against a monolithic Iranian nation hell-bent on nuclear weaponry. That's my take now. We'll get some on-the-ground perspective from Christian Amanpour, and then a panel of Iran experts to dissect the news further. And finally, a retrospective